rest of my life and I regret everything I did in my past,
Sure.
then like good on her, and it shouldn't matter, and I would never judge her for that. But that's just one example and one religion she could go down. It could be another one.
Wait, so because she can't change it, then she should be forgiven for it. Is that your position?
If she has like a regret for it and real remorse, and she's like, God, I really wish I hadn't done that, then
Sure.
I'm gonna be like, yeah.
That's interesting, because that was one of my questions. Do you ladies have any sexual experiences that you regret?
Yeah. I think that anything before college, yes.
Anything, anyone?
Well, I mean, I grew up in a small town, and people, they either had babies or if they couldn't find a mate, they had to get out of town, And so, like, obviously, you have a couple connections and they don't work out, so it's like, okay, well, we've all settled down. It's like, okay, time to skip town, go to another one, and then you go and you're like, oh man, like that's kind of what I know, because it's what I know. So I don't know if like I wouldn't say community is to blame, but I would say the area that you live in can affect how you think from a youth, and if that is your life as a youth, then, I mean, you're going to act like that way as an adult until it's like, oh, well, it's too late, you're a virgin. And I'm like, dude, that passed long ago.
Real Trump donated $69.
Oh,
That
Queen.
British girl looks like the young hot queen from that show The Crown.
Yeah. Okay.
Question for her, what's her thoughts on Meghan Markle?
Oh.
She married a prince and she still won't shut the F up.
They live near here, actually. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry.
Oh God. What do I think about Meghan Markle?
Yeah.
Do we really want to go there?
Give us like a brief, like a 30-second snippet.
I'm not a royalist. I just wasn't brought up that way. I do think that she is extremely blessed in her life right now. She has got so many privileges that a lot of women in her position may not have. So I think there's a certain level of grace that she's not moving with, and that Princess Diana had so much grace. And I wish that was, kept up.
So you're not in favor of the relationship?
No, I don't mind it.
Okay.
I wish that she was, I guess, a little bit more grateful and
Right.
had a little bit more honor and didn't seem to
I
be
see.
complaining, because that's what people see her as, is complaining.
Okay.
In response to your body count objection, I always find it interesting because women have an issue with a lot of things that hold them accountable. And I say all the time, women they just don't like anything that's disadvantageous to them. And when it comes to body count, you're essentially holding a woman accountable. So in what world does quantifiable history not matter? Credit score matters, school transcripts matters, because these things indicate your patterns of behavior, or they tell a story about what you did in the past and what you're more likely to do in the future.
Sure.
So I guess my question is, why do y'all have an issue with the fact that men don't want women who have a higher body count? What's the issue with that?
I don't personally have an issue with it. Again, I'm just more of like, that's my personal preference. If
Accountability donated $69. My friend Pacey'd. 3 days later, while celebrating his life, the GF asked me to sleep with her that night.
Whoa.
I was sick. If it helps women not feel negative emotions, any action permissible?
Damn, that's crazy. Accountability.
That's wild. Okay, to answer your question, I don't care what someone's body count is, male or female. If you say, I don't want a woman who slept with more than 10 people, I'm not going to judge you. That's what you want. That's fine. I just think that if a woman maybe was in the industry, and then she comes out of it and she's like, I really wish I hadn't done that, and there's remorse. I'm not saying you should forgive her. I'm just saying that and it's not even a forgiving thing. It's like, okay, if you regret it, then that's okay. That's good in a way.
But but we're talking about dating here. So it seems to me like you're saying that men should perhaps consider overlooking it.
I think in rare cases.
I
There's
think
not a
she's
form
saying
of
that
risk
like
assessment?
I think she's saying that if a woman decides to change and she decides to move her life in a new direction, then her actions and what she did in the past, if a man chooses not to forgive her, that's his prerogative. That's his prerogative,
Sure.
and that's perfectly
Yeah.
okay. But it doesn't mean that she is, as a whole, 100% unforgivable.
Yeah.
Somebody can still love her.
110%. I think-
Somebody can still love
Yeah.
her.
I don't consider it a matter of forgiveness. I just consider it a matter of risk assessment because of
Oh
course,
yeah,
of
she
course
should
people
take
can,
accountability
yeah,
and own it.
of course people can change, but is there anything about this woman's tendencies to behave in certain ways in the past that may come up in our relationship? You know, will she potentially revert back to her old ways with me?
And if
It
that's
will
depends.
she cheat on me?
It
Will
depends,
she,
like
you know?
if she did that while she was in a relationship, or if she was just single for a long time. You know, if she has history of cheating, then sure, I would think that as a man, considering her to be in a relationship, why he would feel that she could repeat those patterns. I think promiscuity in any shape, way, or form is not good. But I think to her point was that if a woman does decide to have a recourse and completely change her life, then we're just saying as a whole, she can still be deserving of a good man.
Yeah.
And
What if I told you that was me? What if I told you that my body count was well above 25, well above 50, and I have found someone who has accepted me for the fact that I have done professional, for the fact that I have done OnlyFans? That does not diminish my value. My body count does not diminish what I am able to provide outside of that. So I am that woman that y'all are speaking of, and I am deserving of love.
Yeah.
And I have found someone who is going to accept me for who I am and accept my past and look beyond that, because they themselves have had their fair share of things.
But he's in the industry too, right? Or he
Yeah.
was.
Now we're done. Now we're exclusive.
Oh, well, that's
so he
easier
probably
because-
understands, yeah.
But really, if the body count is a concern for you, then to that extreme, then you shouldn't even consider that woman. Just move on, go to
Find a
another one.
woman in your
Yeah.
wheelhouse.
Sure.
And that's why I said in
Yeah.
the beginning of a relationship,
But-
make sure your core values are exactly the same or very close.
But I think the thing when it comes to the body count thing is that a lot of women want to give pushback instead of saying, oh, hey, that's just your preference, you're entitled to your preference. Then they want to start shaming men for those preferences by saying,
Oh.
you're insecure